The nominees for the 98th Academy Awards are here, and we have thoughts. In today's episode, we're going to go through all the big categories and talk about our winners, losers, snubs, and surprises. It's an episode you won't want to miss. Let's get into it.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kirk.
Welcome back to Popcorn for Breakfast. Thank you so much for being here. With me, as always, is Kirk. How you doing, Kirk?
Hello. I'm doing well.
Great. And Stefano is here as well. Stefano, how you doing, man?
Doing very well. Hello.
Well, it's the day we've been talking about for a long time. It's Oscar Nominations Day, where they announce the nominees for the 98th Academy Awards that happened this morning. We're recording in the evening for release on Friday, the 23rd. It's always a big day. There's always opinions. There's opinions abound. There's lots of categories. There's even one additional category this year that they didn't have. We're going to do what we always do, which is to go through the primary categories. We're not going to go through every single category because that would take a really long time, and some of them just wouldn't be that interesting to listen to us talk about. But we're going to go through the big ones. We're going to talk about anything we want to. I mean, I'm sure you guys have ideas. You guys have ideas? Do you have opinions?
Us?
Yeah. Okay, good. I was worried.
And, we were actually, I remember, pleasantly surprised with the Golden Globe nominees.
Yeah.
I know it's a little easier for them because they have their comedy and musical and drama, so more people get, nominated. So we think we had some very high expectations, especially with how good the year was in film.
Yeah, I mean, the Golden Globes have been the punching bag of this particular podcast for a really long time,
Yeah.
but I would say the last few years, ever since the big shakeup with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and it was like revealed that there was just like a lot of fraud and nasty stuff going on there.
Yeah.
They've kind of cleaned up their act. They're back on TV, which is good. And their nominations since then have been solid. Like, they've had some picks that I'm like, interesting. You've piqued my interest. So now it's like the Oscars are put on notice a little bit.
Yeah, it was a weird bumpy ride this morning, and I think we should just show the people what they need to see. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this visually. Cam created a great visualization deck. If you're listening, we'll make sure we say everything just for you.
Yes, we'll try to make it good radio and good video. Let's get into it, guys. We're going to start the same way the awards usually start. Now, they've got a new category now, so they might start in a different way. Maybe, I don't know what category will start first, but we're going to start with the supporting actor and actress category. So let's hop right into it, guys. So let's start with Best Supporting Actress. And the nominees are Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Masaku for Sinners, and Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another. What do we think of this category? This, to me, like, if I'm going to start, like, the least surprising category maybe of all.
Yeah, I don't think there were any obvious I think, like, to me, like, maybe this wouldn't be my 5. Like, I think, like, Odessa Zion would probably be in my top 5 for this, but I'm not surprised to see her, not nominated here. And I think these are all outstanding performances, so no gripes here, really.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a two-person race here between Amy Madigan and Teyana Taylor, and I really wish Kirsten Dunst was in this category. I'm very upset that her face is not on here, that her name wasn't read this morning. That hurts because I think she was phenomenal in Roofman. Go check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, it's just an embarrassment of riches. In this category, these supporting categories can be pretty darn competitive. There's just so much, especially because you can have multiple people from one film, like we see here with Sentimental Value, and both worthy nominations, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stefano. Like, I had Odessa Zion on my list as well. Whenever we did our Critics Awards, I definitely had her in there. But that being said, like, I wasn't majorly shocked. Like, I knew, I would say, like, Wunmi Masaku was probably like the one that was on the fringe there, most likely. Because we've been hearing about Elle Fanning, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, Amy Madigan, Teyana Taylor, all award season. I felt like those four were like pretty much locks. But I'm happy with this group. I have no major bones to pick.
Great.
All right. Let's move on to the supporting actor category, where I know Bones will be
I don't want to even look at this.
And the nominees are Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård getting his first Oscar nomination ever for Sentimental Value.
Well deserved.
Yeah. All right, Stefano. I'm gonna let you kick this
I'll
one
just
off.
get it out of the way. I think again, it's another scenario where I really like all these performances, some more than others. But I think what's just so glaring to me is Paul Mescal not getting nominated, and not only because I thought it was an exceptional performance, but when you just consider, and I hate to get technical and things like that, but when you consider all the precursor nominations, all everything leading up to this, like he was never even remotely on the bubble. Like it seemed like, you had four basically solidified nominees with Del Toro, Sean Penn, Skarsgård, and Mescal. And then again, it was like who's going to kind of take that last spot. Elordi, Lindo, and there was some other, even Andrew Scott maybe from the top rope. But I think Paul Mescal missing here is a bit of a bummer, and I think some of it might have to do with like we already talked about. There is a little bit of category misconception there. I do think he gave a lead performance in that film, but they submitted him as supporting. I don't know if maybe that turned off Academy voters, but it certainly didn't have any effect on any other of the guilds or anything like that. So really bummed to see that. He'll win his Oscar one day, and I'm still so happy he got nominated for After Sun. But some good performances here. I think if anything, I'd switch out like Jacob Elordi, even though I did think it was an impressive performance. But super happy to see Delroy Lindo get appreciated as well.
Yeah, lots of first-time Oscar nominees this time in the acting categories, which is really cool. We've already seen a couple in the first two categories we talked about, including Delroy Lindo, including Jacob Elordi, including Stellan Skarsgård after a 54-year acting career gets his first nomination. That's amazing to see. Also Teyana Taylor, Wunmi Masaku, Elle Fanning, Inga Ibsdottir, Lilius, like that almost that entire supporting category for on the female side. So that's really cool. And then we've got some more on the acting side with Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura, Rosebird, Renata Reinsve. Like it's great to see. Agree with you on the Frankenstein Jacob Elordi thing. I like that performance. I praised that performance in my review. I don't think it's an Oscar worthy performance. I would have definitely had Paul Mescal here. Love the Delroy Lindo pick though. Talk about somebody who's been underappreciated. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast. I think that's a win overall.
Definitely.
I think every movie that we reviewed him on, I've picked him as one of my my best actors because I am just so enamored by him. The first experience I had with Delroy Lindo was in Gone in 60 Seconds, everybody, and he was just an absolute scene stealer in that movie all those years ago. And I just love it. He's so magnetizing. And I think Paul Mescal is not here because of Irish discrimination. I just want to put that out in the world. There was a lot of Irish love a couple years ago that has faded.
Now it's waning.
It's not working in his favor. So that's why Paul's not here today.
I was wondering when the first conspiracy theory would come up, and I feel like here it is. It didn't take long. I like it. I think this is a category that a lot of people are chattering about. But I did wonder after they announced it, like because Paul Mescal shouldn't have been being put forward for supporting, in my opinion, or any of our opinions, or a lot of people's opinions. I just wondered, did that impact it? To your point, Stefano, it didn't seem to impact any of the other major awards, so you wouldn't think it would impact here, but I do kind of wonder. Next category, we're moving on to Best Actress. In this category, we've got Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Emma Stone, with this nomination, becomes the youngest person to be nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
That's absurd. Good
Crazy.
And I don't think there's not one of those where I'm like, Like I'm always like, yeah, absolutely, add her to the list. Like I always love everything she does. So
yeah,
good for her.
And it's technically, I think, youngest woman, but I don't know who on the men's side would have done it any earlier. The point is, it's an amazing accomplishment. 7 nominations, very much well deserved. She's an incredible actor. She's won a couple as well. Yeah, well deserved. She's one of my favorite actors really ever, and certainly one of the best going. So congrats to her.
Yeah, I don't think she'll win it for this one though.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, I really think it's going to go to, homegirl Jessie Buckley.
Yeah, I think it's Also, it seems to be the most surefire acting win of the year, and Jessie
Yeah.
Buckley is another one of those best working actors we have now who's finally getting her flowers, and I'm so glad that people are taking notice.
Yeah, she refuses to do mainstream movies. I think that's the thing. She
Yep.
she just refuses to do it, and so it's like it's sometimes hard if you don't do big studio pictures to get nominated for awards sometimes because you need a little more exposure for the campaigning. But good for her, she's done her thing, and she's definitely earned this one. This is the one. If you're gonna make a tattoo bet, this is the one you should make it on.
Yes,
because
Certainly.
it's that's solid. I think for this one, I
We're
really
gonna talk
wanna
about
chase-
talk about the elephant in the room, Cam.
I mean, Kate Hudson's the elephant in the room. I have not
Listen.
now listen, hold on, because it's gonna get contentious here. I have not seen the movie, okay? So from a certain perspective, I'm not gonna talk about how Kate Hudson's performance didn't deserve it.
Correct.
I just would say, from my perspective, Chase Infinity should be here. And I think too, like I would almost argue that over Emma Stone as well. Like I was a little bit surprised to see Emma Stone get nominated here too. I felt like there were a couple performances.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I think where some of the contention is coming in is just it always feels like, and this is why people rag on the Oscars, there's always like some behind the scenes campaigning on, like, the first thing Hugh Jackman said about this movie is, oh, Kate Hudson's going to win an award for this. And it's like, you'd already just like the whole intent of it seems like this is like a very calculated push at the exact right moment, right before the Academy Awards. And it just like rubs me the wrong way, just has industry parents, has industry ties, is best friends with this and that. And I'm not saying, like, of course, I also haven't seen the film, but again, this is another one of those nominations that just kind of comes out of nowhere with almost no precursors. It just kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit. It's like, I know there's a lot of crying out too for Amanda Seyfried's performance as well, for Testament of Anne Lee, where people were hoping and seeing that as a bubble. Like there were, I think,
Fair.
5
and Eva Victor.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too, where Kate Hudson never really seemed like a bubble, a nominee. It kind of came out of nowhere. So I think that's why people feel a certain way about it. But Kirk, you have seen the film, so.
Yes, gentlemen, as the only person in this conversation who has seen all five of these movies, and especially Song Sung Blue, that movie will blow your mind. I mean, it will blow your hair back, your socks off. It's gonna floor you when you watch this. I gave this like a 9.5 out of 10. And a big reason for that is Kate Hudson. I think she's been stellar in most of her other movies that she's been a part of. But we haven't seen her this locked in since How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I'm not kidding you. She is so there, transformative performance, and the things that this script requires of her to do, out of this world for Kate Hudson. She deserves to be there. I think that's great. I do think I'm with you. I heard you say you'd swap out Emma Stone for maybe Chase Infinity. I agree with that. She did great in Begonia, but not like her top tier performances. It was just like she was going to work. She was doing what she does best, is acting. But I think there was something special, a little bit more special about Chase's.
Yeah, Emma Stone's like almost in Meryl Streep territory.
Yes.
Where it's like it starts to be like, is it just like if she makes a movie, she gets it on?
Uh-huh.
And you can't, same with Meryl, like you can't look at the performance and be like, not that good. Like it's always good. It's always really good. And her performance in Begonia is really good. It's not her most challenging performance ever or what have you, but it is really good. There's just a lot of really good nominees in this category. Like we mentioned, Amanda Seyfried, Eva Victor, Chase Infinity. Like those are all people who would be really deserving nominees, and all of them I think would be first time nominees. Except for Amanda Seyfried, maybe.
She might have been best supporting in the past.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll have to check that.
But at the end of the day, Jessie Buckley's going to win this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, all right, moving on. I mean, it does matter, but because it matters, but it doesn't.
None of this matters.
On to Best Actor. The nominees are Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
Good stuff here. I think this is kind of what it seemed like it was going to shake out to be. And I think what was exciting was, I think, a month and a half ago, monthish ago, when Blue Moon was starting to make its rounds, the chatter for Ethan Hawke was building up, and this man, I don't know if there's maybe no more deserving actor on the planet of a nomination than Ethan Hawke, and I'm so glad he finally got his due. Definitely not necessarily win competitive here, but I'm really glad he's being honored with the nomination. An outstanding performance, and he just always gives it his all. He is an actor's actor. He cares so much about the craft, and I really appreciate that here. Wagner Moura representing Brazil. I know that's a big deal.
Shout out Brazil.
Shout out Brazil.
Love you guys.
So that's a big deal. Phenomenal performance. I know I always kind of catch flack for this, but like if I'm picking my personal five, Michael B. Jordan's nowhere near it usually. I think he does an excellent job like holding it down, but he's Michael B. Jordan being Michael B. Jordan, and I just like, to me, like charisma only gets me so far and in appreciating his performance. So there are a few performances I'd put above Michael B. Jordan, but leading basically the biggest film of the year takes a lot. So being honored with the nomination is definitely deserving.
16 nominees for Sinners.
Most ever.
Wow.
Yeah, 16 nominations for Sinners, and the next closest was One Battle After Another with 13. Obviously, there's a musical component to Sinners that always gives movies an upper hand when you've got an original song and a really interesting original score.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen. But yeah, 16 nominations, huge deal.
Very
huge
impressive. Deal. I always want Leo to win. I just want him to win. If he's in there, I want him to win. That's my guy.
I actually think in this situation, I don't know. I think you guys talked about it on your podcast. It's probably my favorite Leo performance. I think it's got all his good tendencies wrapped up into one. It's the perfect vehicle for him. So
top 5 Leo performance for sure.
The Timmy C campaign train though there are no brakes on that train.
No.
It is a runaway train.
I hate it.
And I'm good with it. I think he was outstanding. So I'm happy for his eventual Oscar.
I don't want him to beat Leo. I don't know.
No.
Especially since I don't know. This is the wrong way to think about it. But first of all, I'll just say this. I like Leo's performance better. Full stop.
Yeah.
So there's that. Second of all, he's just so young.
Yes.
And he's been nominated 2 years in a row now. And I'm just like, he's going to win. And I don't feel like he should win for this. I feel like
he's not ready.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
He's not ready. In fact, I would take anyone winning over Timmy in this, and I'd be perfectly fine, especially Ethan Hawke, because I want to say, I've said this before for some of our longtime listeners, Ethan Hawke was just absolutely insufferable as a young actor. I hate most of his young stuff, but I have
Reality
not seen
Bites?
My mom loves Reality Bites. That was like her favorite movie. She watched it all the time.
But I haven't seen the Before series, but even he's not young Ethan Hawke, but his maturing age has given him so much wisdom and so much patience and so much better perspective on how to create his characters. That's the one movie I haven't seen in this category. Dying to see Blue Moon, and I would be really ecstatic to see Ethan Hawke win here.
I really love that. I like that movie a lot, and I think First Reformed, his performance in that's probably one of the best performances of the century. And it not being nominated it's exceptional. It's nothing like it. So if you haven't seen First Reformed, the Paul Schrader film, everybody should watch it immediately.
Paul Schrader? Why haven't I watched this yet?
It does feel poetic, though, that Ethan Hawke gets this nomination for Richard Linklater film. I feel
100%.
like, and especially one that like they've wanted to make for a zillion years, and in true Richard Linklater fashion, he was like, let's just like can this for 25 years and we'll circle back. You know, like
exactly.
I feel like there's something very poetic about that, and so I'm glad the Academy recognized it. Also, really happy the Academy recognized Wagner Moura. You never know with international features which way the pendulum's going to swing. I feel like in recent years it's been better, but I really like this. I really like this group. The one that burns me up here is Lee Byung-hun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And I knew it wasn't going to happen. I've known
Obviously,
for months.
yeah.
I've known since I saw No Other Choice and loved it that was going to happen. But man, it sucks. And that movie got shut out 100% across the board. No other choice.
It's probably the best movie I've ever seen that has gotten shut out so hard.
Completely shut out.
It's crazy. And I think we're talking about international feature because I have a strong opinion on one film, but we'll see. No Other Choice, huge bummer. I really would have loved to see that nomination.
Yep, 100%. All right, moving away from acting and going into some other categories. Let's start with Best Casting. This is the brand new category here. The nominees are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. Stefan, I think it was you called it out in the group chat today that hilariously, like, Sentimental Value had all of their core four nominated for acting awards and didn't get nominated for best casting. So
I think I've reckoned with it, and I was excited to come back to this chat
great.
to talk about it. Maybe I think so. Best casting will go to the casting director, and I
Yep.
think in an instance of Sentimental Value, those four were attached to Trier the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you're awarding the casting director, not necessarily the film, for just having good actors in it. So
Yep.
I'm gonna lay that one to rest, and I think that makes complete sense if that's how they approach it, because there weren't any. I mean, the performances were astonishing and so great, but again, it's because the director brought them along, is what it seems like. So
Yeah, and we talked about that a bit before, where it's
Yeah.
like, you know, this award, if you're going to have this award, it should go to an exceptional job of casting, where a
Yep.
casting director, somebody who sat down and looked at auditions and thought through
Thousands and
it,
thousands of auditions.
they saw something that nobody else would have seen. You know, I think that's where it's important. And that's where, like, I feel like a movie like Marty Supreme has a leg up, because that
Yes.
is such an interesting cast, with a Kevin O'Leary, with an Odessa Zion, with Gwyneth Paltrow. Just
Yeah.
like, there's a
And-
lot of
Yeah.
interesting nuggets there that I feel like could put them ahead.
Do you guys think this is going to be a lasting category? Do you think it'll be here for like 5 years and disappear?
I can
I don't
see
know.
it. I don't know. That's a very good question. I just think what's odd is, like, I think the Academy needs to better explain it, because honestly, I think Sinners is just gonna win this by default. And I hate to say
Mm.
by default, but I just think it is. And then you're considering, well, like, people are gonna be like, well, yeah, it had the most nominated actors compared to Marty Supreme, but Marty Supreme is doing far more interesting things with the casting choices. So it's gonna be kind of contentious, because people don't quite understand it. I don't think we don't even fully understand it. So they may
But
try
One
it.
Battle has more nominated actors than any of the movies on this list.
That's true. It's probably not. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? It's a weird one, but that's a good question, Kirk. We'll see.
Why do you feel like it's
Thank you.
Sinners by default?
Because of it almost feels like, and we'll see if this happens too, it almost feels like usually it's the screenplay that's kind of like you'll win this because you're not going to win Best Picture.
Yeah, that's the tell.
I somehow see the Sinners winning Best Casting, because I don't think it will win Best Picture. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But we'll see. But then that doesn't line up with a casting director getting the award. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Watch the casting director not have been flown out
Right.
there, and a producer gets up there and takes
Yeah.
their speech. It better not happen. Should be
Any
the casting
nomination?
director.
Yeah, that's a good call. Sorry to cut you off.
You're
Any
good.
nominations you guys think here are wacky? I
The-
kind of don't. I feel
I
like
don't.
this makes a lot of
I
sense.
don't either. And because The Secret Agent had so many, like, good small performances throughout, and we'll maybe talk about it with International Feature. But what The Secret Agent did so well with its small roles, I actually had an issue with it was just an accident. I actually thought a lot of some of the acting was uneven in that. So
Mm.
if we're gonna represent an international film here, I'm really happy The Secret Agent's being nominated.
Yep. Well said. All right, moving right along. Best original score. The nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. So we've got a couple heavy hitters here in terms of score writers. We've got Max Richter. We got Johnny Greenwood. So Max Richter did Hamnet. Johnny Greenwood did One Battle After Another. Ludwig Göransson on Sinners. I like this category a lot. I was surprised Marty Supreme didn't get in
Yeah,
here.
that
This is
seems-
one that I felt like it should. I would have probably given Frankenstein the boot if it were me.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Sinners, obviously very memorable score. The Johnny Greenwood score. I need Johnny Greenwood to win an Oscar, and
100%.
his score for Phantom Thread's one of my favorite ever. And I just think his score is so powerful here. But it does seem like he probably got nominated in the wrong year, because I don't see Sinners losing this one. But really good scores throughout. Max Richter's score for him, and it's just gorgeous. That's when I listen to while I like pretend to work. I'll listen to that score, and it'll soothe me.
Yeah, I think the other score one that surprises me here was Begonia getting in. When F1 got nominated for Best Picture, and don't say anything, we'll put a pin in that. I thought for sure, like, it was at the end, but I was like, as I was looking through the nominees, I'm like, I'm surprised it didn't get nominated for score because it was Hans Zimmer and it was an interesting score, a good score, because Hans Zimmer doesn't do bad scores. But just like given his clout and given how that movie performed overall, you know, being nominated for editing, being nominated for a couple of other things, like I could have seen that over Begonia. So I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah,
by that.
I was too.
I love there's a TikTok from SNL vet Melissa Villasenor. She's like, oh, I could write the score for one battle after another, and she turns around to her piano and she just starts hammering her hands. Bum, 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 bum.
Man,
it's so great. It sounds just like the score. But I also love the chaos of that.
It's
score.
great.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's so anxiety inducing.
I think Sinners takes the win here.
I agree. Ludwig is a machine.
I saw also because
He is the here and now.
love it. I saw another lovely TikTok that's all about, you know, how Ryan Coogler, if you have his trust and his loyalty, he's just taken the same crew throughout all of his movies, and that's one of them that's been with him over and
Every
over
single
again.
time.
So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that loyalty.
His Black Panther score was awesome.
Yeah.
I freaking love that score.
And we would like to be on that loyalty train. We're here. We're here for you. Ryan Coogler.
I'll give somebody a bagel if they need. I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever it takes. All right, moving right along. Best production design: Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners. This is another obligatory Guillermo del Toro nomination. If he makes a movie,
He's
will
gonna
get
be
nominated for production design.
Yep. And I'm going to be that person. Well, first of all, the Marty Supreme, this is an inspired nomination. That Marty Supreme production design, I talked about it on a review, is just outstanding. Absolutely love it. Love that nomination. I am going to be that guy to say that I'm very excited that they didn't just put Wicked for Good in here because it's a Wicked movie.
100%.
I thought the production design on that film was frankly not good at all. So I'm happy to see that it wasn't just kind of thrown in there with an obligatory, this is a popular film, and the first one was nominated. You know, I saw a lot of that. It's like, oh, the first one had 10 nominations, this one has 0. It's like, well, it's a different film, but
And a worse film.
in a worse
Yeah, it's as if
Categorically worse.
I know they filmed that back to back, but part
shows.
one, part two. But I feel like they must have been tearing down the sets because the sets in the first one were great, but then like it was all CGI and Wicked.
They
for
really
Good.
didn't do the Emerald City justice
No.
and Wicked for Good.
It
No,
looked like Emerald City had the population of about 45. It really frustrated me.
But
Anyway,
where is everyone?
yeah. But yeah, I think not surprised with these at all. You know, I think you're seeing like One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme showing up a lot. You know, those are kind of probably the 4 best picture front runners too. I would say it seems like it's going that way.
I want Hamnet to win specifically because they recreate the Globe Theater.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
Oh,
I want
It's
Hamnet to
it's
get
a
lot
great
of love.
production design. I think even just, you know, the town that they live in
Yeah.
and the whole Hewlands, which is like the farm like that Jesse Buckley's family
Mhm.
owns. Like I don't know, like particularly it's so easy to, if you read the book or anything, it just comes to life on screen. I feel like that. I feel like having Maggie O'Farrell on set to help with that. She was a credited writer on the film, working together with Chloe Zhao. I feel like the creative vision really came to life. Well, I would love that too. I would love
Yeah.
that too.
That'd be great.
All right, moving right along. Next up, best cinematography: Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
a lot of the same. Only
lot of the
swap
same,
out was Train Dreams, right?
Hmm.
Train Dreams. There was a big campaign for the Train Dreams cinematography. I felt like I could feel that sort of on social media. I saw a lot of like high profile actors doing press for certain things where they were like, "Oh, this movie, you got to see this movie."
Yeah, I got that vibe as well. And it looks great. It definitely it does, but it does feel like they had it in mind, you know, like that this would be a player in best cinematography. It looked beautiful. But 2 Netflix films here.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's plenty of good films. Like we'll talk about it again, but No Other Choice, I think, is my best cinematography of the year. Obviously didn't stand a chance in this category, but I would have loved to have seen that in this.
I mean, Hamnet. Hello.
Yep.
Hamnet should. I called it out in my review. I love the
Yeah.
cinematography in that movie. I also felt like the secret agent here makes a
Yep.
lot of sense.
It does.
And not surprisingly, because I shouldn't say that because it's obligatory, it feels like, but I think Frankenstein's the ugliest movie out of these 5. Easy to me.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I felt
Yeah.
like, I mean, does Guillermo, like you mentioned it earlier, Stefano, like I love Guillermo, so don't anybody take this the wrong way, but Stefano, like you were saying, like, is he becoming one of those directors that, like, if they make a movie, they automatically get a Best Picture nom? But not only that, he brings with him a whole host of other nominations. He seems to get automatic bids for production design, cinematography too, where it's like, this Frankenstein is a good movie. I want to make sure that's understood. I like Frankenstein. It's not anywhere close to his best work, and I don't think that it should have been an automatic bid in any of these production type categories personally.
Right. I think Matt Damon spilled the beans on that as the movie The Rip came out, and him and Ben are on tour just bashing Netflix about their production notes and how they reshape scripts to fit the short attention span of adults, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a pretty rough time, especially the beginning of that movie. I think we have a spoiler-free review, but we'll talk briefly spoiler-full on this. There's a giant set piece at the beginning. It's a ship exploding, being attacked and everything. Some of the worst CGI you've ever seen in your life in a movie that has multiple Oscar nominees. And that alone right there is like, wow, this should be if this had to happen, this should be like incredible. We should feel like we're in this attack, this battle between Frankenstein and these men on this ship. And you are just so annoyed with how bad it looks.
I was
that's throughout too.
I was shocked to find out like a lot of the sequences inside of like the castle with the big window and his big like geyser looking beams and stuff. Like I was so shocked to see how much of that was practical because so much of it didn't look practical. They went through all this trouble and it looked like there was a layer of CGI gunk on it. I don't know. We could talk it to death, but
upsetting.
Surprisingly, Del Toro is an outlier here for sure.
Yeah, it is surprising. All right, moving on. Best film editing. F1. Marty Supreme. One Battle After Another. Sentimental Value. And Sinners.
I'll say, for as many like sketchy nominations, one of the like nominations I appreciate the most is Sentimental Value here for Best Film Editing. I think that film and No Other Choice had remarkably clean and effective editing that usually doesn't get noticed. Usually this award goes to the most cuts in a film, a la Bohemian Rhapsody. With
you got to give us a trigger warning before you mention that movie, bro.
I'm so sorry. Potentially
I'm leaving.
This is no longer a safe space. Kirk's got to go.
Infamously won Best Film Editing for just having a bunch of cuts. And I think people just think quick cuts in a fast film means best editing. And we see that a lot here with like F1, Marty Supreme, but you have to nail it. And I think, with most of these nominations, they nail it.
Yeah. Would have loved a No Other Choice nomination here. I don't want to bang that drum all night, but come on.
Because I think what No Other Choice does is, again, we also assume that editing is just cutting things and putting it together. But what No Other Choice does with its layering and all of that stuff is exceptional. Honestly, I could see The Secret Agent in here being another good nomination.
Oh, great editing in The Secret Agent. Yes. Great. Yeah. And I actually do kind of get the F1 nomination here, to be honest with you, just because they're dealing with real vehicles moving at a high speed, custom camera rigs. I was impressed with the editing in that movie, just
I agree.
flat out. And Joseph Kosinski, I mean, that's what he does, that's his thing. So I'm not super mad about that one.
Nope.
I'm not mad about any of these, but it's a tough category.
It's a really tough category. This could go any direction.
Yeah.
Any direction.
I would have had Hamnet here too. But
of course.
I would have had 10 nominees. So
I was upset with the opening editing of Hamnet. It felt like, where are we?
Pacing was too crazy.
It just wasn't.
Cam and I loved that. I think we liked the intro, but you didn't like the pacing of it. I don't think.
I didn't like the pacing of it. I think the editing was off-putting when it didn't need to be. Like the script didn't call for it to be like, oh, where am I? We needed like this is where we're going at the beginning of it.
Okay.
And there could have been more chaos in different parts, which there was later.
You're
So,
off-putting, Kirk.
how dare you?
Yes, let's get into personal insults now. I like this. I like where we're heading. Okay, moving on. Best animated feature. Wow, this is a bright slide. This,
Yeah, the
you can tell
posters. A lot of
colors
purple.
are in vogue this year. Nominees are Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters. There's a nice little rhyming thing going on there. Little Amelie or the character of Rain, and Zootopia 2.
Down year for animated films.
Big time.
Yeah.
I will be angry if K-pop Demon Hunters does not win this category.
It has to win.
I agree. It better win. It should win.
It should win.
Global phenomenon.
Yeah, and it's also the best made animated movie out of all these. I'm sorry.
is.
I'm just gonna say it. It is. Like, I know Zootopia 2 has tons of fans and money. I like Zootopia 2. I like Elio. I like both of those
I like Elio
movies.
too.
I don't super love Arco, if I can be completely honest
I haven't
with you.
seen it.
You cannot be honest. I want you to lie for the rest of this episode.
I wanted to love Arco
People
because
gushed over that, but some people feel the same way you did. It's like it's kind of just a facade almost.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
it feels like a movie that's trying to be like, oh, I'm a cool hip animated movie with hand drawn art. I don't know. It's just like I wanted to like it because I think, I was immediately drawn in by the poster and some of the plot details. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I don't love the art style in it, and I don't love this. I don't think the story works all that well. It ends in a good spot. I don't know. Anyway, my point being, K-pop Demon Hunters to me is like a clear. This is like one that I feel like should definitely win.
Yeah.
Can I say something controversial?
Say
Yeah,
it.
of course.
I don't even like K-pop Demon Hunters, but I know it should win this category.
There you go. There you go.
Cam, question for you specifically.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where an anime film based on a show would ever be nominated in this category?
I don't.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so, because I think we had a pretty darn good shot at it this year.
Yep.
And the thing is, will we ever? Anime is still on this trajectory,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It's rising for
it's
our
still-
listeners only.
it's still rising. So I mean, it may be,
Right.
but like,
It's
this is a year where it was a down year. Chainsaw Man could have gotten nominated. Demon
Right.
Slayer could have gotten nominated. It did get
Yeah.
nominated at the Golden Globes for what
Yeah.
it's worth.
I'm just
I don't
hoping
know.
it can crack it, because obviously we have, Miyazaki films that have won, and those are anime style films, but they're not, based off of like a manga or a show IP. So
They're not a show movie. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
put a year to it. Let's all make a bet right now, and then
2031.
2031.
I was
okay.
gonna say 35.
I'm gonna go later. I'm gonna go 2042, just so I can catch up to
And
anime.
it's
Oh,
gonna
man,
be
anime
it's
is
gonna be
gonna be
based off the Shrek
popping off.
the Shrek manga anime. That's what it's gonna be.
Exactly. So those are our bets, and so when it does, we need to come back and listen to this. What's the wager?
Pizza
Tattoo.
party.
Tattoo.
Someone has
Pizza.
You have to pay for the pizza party.
Yes,
Fair. I'll take that one.
pizza party it is. Okay, cool.
All right.
Next.
Moving right along. I think next is international feature. Yes, this is going to be contentious. And the nominees are The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Surat, and The Voice of Hind Rajab.
Wow.
Who wants to kick it off?
I'll say
I've seen the least amount, so someone
I'll
else.
say this has been such a strong year for international features.
Yes.
And I think what's finally happening is they've become a little more available. So now, obviously
Shout out Neon.
films are made exactly. So many films are made outside of the United States of America, but apparently we didn't know that up until the last 10 to 15 years, it seems like. So I'm glad that this wave is happening. And, Left-Handed Girl, No Other Choice are two exceptional films I would have loved to have seen nominated here. The only one I haven't seen is Hind Rajab, and I'm dying to see it, and I've heard great things about it. Even with not having seen that, to me, Surat, I think, is such an odd film that has so much support behind it. It's one of those films that it feels like it's trying to be shocking for the sake of it. It's trying to be so loud, and it feels like the Emilia Perez effect, and it's nowhere near as, I would say, I'm I give Surratt like a 3 out of 5. Right? There are things I liked about it. Amelia Perez I think is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Oh, sorry. We
But
also need a trigger warning for Amelia Perez.
sorry, I'm
matches.
sorry. I brought that up again. Sorry.
Cam's
We're-
leaving now.
Where it's just where I feel like
breaking out in hives.
with Surratt as well, I feel like it's just trying to be provocative in like uncomfortable ways that don't make you think about something differently, and it just kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's not really any better for it. So Surratt, I am not pleased to see it take up a spot here, but it was expected based on what I saw before. So
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is true story. This is sometimes what happens whenever you have to vote on awards by a specific time. I had access to Surratt. We had access to all sorts of movies, and it was down to the wire. And I read a plot synopsis for Surratt and decided I don't think that's going to get nominated, etc. And watched a whole bunch of other international films, and then it did. And so I have not seen it. So I need to rectify that before the Oscars. I have it sitting on my shelf right now, so I can go watch it. So I can't speak to that one. Voice of Hinder Job. I'm not surprised to see this one nominated. I will say though, this is an okay movie with a spectacular, harrowing story. You know, the movie itself, there's some really interesting things about this movie, and I like this movie a lot. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, but I think I gave it 4.5 stars because I think it conveys really, really important subject matter that frankly, like I just like was not totally aware of.
Sure.
And so it moved me in a way to like, that was a movie that as soon as I stopped watching it, I was like, I need to learn more about this right this second, because this is not okay. And so I think it's a movie that everyone should see.
Yep.
No doubt. And for that reason, I'm happy to see it nominated. International feature sucks this year in the best way. Like there's so many good options that it's like good movies are going to get the door slammed in their face. And in this case, like No Other Choice was a casualty, and that hurts real bad. Cause that's a movie I think is brilliant. And most of these movies too were distributed by Neon in the US. And I think that also gives them a difficult, job as a distributor to campaign for all of these films. They do a fabulous job for what it's worth. I'm a big fan of how they go about their business, but it's like one ball was going to drop in the midst of this, and I feel like No Other Choice was that ball because it got the later like theatrical release, and I don't know, it just didn't align totally well. So I'm bummed that No Other Choice didn't get nominated, but otherwise, like it's hard for me to speak ill against any of these nominees.
Yeah, I got 2 quick points. Left-Handed Girl that Stefano called out, the best, absolutely the best. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. And number 2, do you guys remember when this category was Best Foreign Language Film?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a
Not that
weird
long
time.
ago.
Not
Yeah, I
that
know.
long ago.
Well, I had to relook at the rules for it, and because I was wondering, because I remember the whole zone of interest. So it basically just has to be more than 50% English, and it used to, you had to, because whatever, you had to like, it had to be in the language of the country of origin, but now obviously it doesn't matter because that's nonsense.
Amelia Perez.
Yeah, and
It
Zone of
comes
Interest, and Zone of Interest, you know, being in German and being a film from the UK. So yeah, I'm glad they've fixed some of that.
Lots of
and
cleanup.
What was the film, the Steven Yeun film?
Minari.
Minari.
It was an American-made film.
American-made film, but
Oh,
it
that's
didn't
right.
qualify for international.
Oh, it didn't. It
No,
didn't. Okay.
but
For some
because-
reason, I was thinking it did, and I was like,
But it was one of those ones that was like teetered on it because it was barely, but it was an American film, but a lot of it was in Korean.
I think Stephen Yeun pronounces it in its correct form, like Minari. Or
Yeah.
I forget where the accent is, but every time he says it, I'm like, oh, I wish I could say it like that.
great movie. For what it's
Phenomenal
worth.
So good.
movie.
All right, best original screenplay. We've got Blue Moon. It Was Just an Accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
Big casualty alert on this one.
Okay.
Sorry, baby. Is
Man.
a bummer. I think, you know, I was hoping the Julia Roberts speech at the Golden Globes would have helped push that one forward. It again had a couple precursors. There was some buzz around it, and it just didn't make it. And unfortunately, I think the one that knocked it out is a screenplay I actually do like, which is Blue Moon. I think I was excited to see Linklater get nominated for this.
Not an original screenplay, though, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's based on letters.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good point, and I
It's
guess
a technicality, but
it's
still.
a technicality, and it's not, you know, his fault. They had to they stuck it somewhere, and the Academy had to agree. So yeah, I'm not surprised with these. I actually like. I don't love like I would probably take out It Was Just an Accident. It's not my like favorite screenplay. I think I would have had Sorry Baby in place of that, but sentimental value, such beautiful dialogue, such a beautifully conversational film, and I think the screenplay is maybe its best part. So excited about that nomination.
Yes. I would have probably taken out It Was Just an Accident. I would have probably taken out Blue Moon, to be honest.
Mhm.
I like a lot of what's going on in Blue Moon, but I do feel like at times it's a bit laborious
Yeah.
to on the ears, you know. At
Yeah,
times, there's just
it's a play on film. It's a
It's a
play,
play
in
on
film
film.
form. Yeah. So
yeah, with a ton of dialogue, and I think it's really impressive that Ethan Hawke was able to shoot that movie the way that he did and do all that. Really great. If I were to swap those two out, I would have put The Secret Agent in there, and I would have put Sorry Baby, though it pains me to leave Weapons out because I
Yeah.
love
Yes,
that screenplay.
that's true.
too.
That's
That's
such
what I
a
was gonna say. Where's
yeah.
weapons?
Weapons.
Where is
Weapons.
weapons?
Where's Weapons in general, bro?
Anywhere.
Yep, we'll get there, I guess. But yeah,
We
screenplay for
won't. We won't
Weapons.
get there. We won't. We
This,
won't.
this is the end, Stefano.
Oh, I thought you meant like we'll get there as far as horror movies getting their
No,
due.
that's what I mean. And I
Okay,
We
guess,
thought
yeah.
you meant literally this year.
no, yeah, it should have been absolutely.
If
should have
not
been
Weapons, what's it gonna be?
That's
It has.
a point.
It just has to be a Jordan Peele movie, or what?
That's yeah,
fair.
that's and that's the thing too. And it's like, I don't know. Does it need to be? I guess Weapons is a bit of a hybrid horror film, so I feel like that could have been a gateway. It was the movie to put in here,
It would have been a gateway.
but again,
Yeah.
you have like, Sinners and Marty Supreme are big nominations throughout,
Yeah.
and they're just like they feel like they're just in there because of all the nominations and stuff. People get on I haven't filled out an Oscar ballot, obviously, but they just get on their, they're like, okay, Sinners, Marty Supreme. It's like just down the board, So
Yeah.
Fun fact for everyone out there: Marty Supreme was supposed to have a different ending,
yes.
in which Kevin O'Leary actually is a vampire and he bites.
Well, you
Timothy
just spoiled it
Chalamet.
for people who were hoping that he would have somehow been a vampire.
Pretty great, pretty bonkers.
I would have loved that for
Same.
what it's worth.
It would have gone up a few notches for me, honestly, because what a bold choice.
It would have been great.
Kirk, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I really just as someone who's not a horror fan, for having Weapons in here, I mean that's a big deal for me to be
Yeah.
like, where is it? So
Right.
that's where I'm at with that.
Agreed.
100%. All right, now the more competitive of the two. Adapted. Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams. Some surprising picks in here. Where's Wake Up Dead Man? Where is it? Give it to me.
I
want
think I agree.
Here it
like
is. I've got it
Net-
under the
Thank
table.
you.
like I don't know. Netflix has two in here again. They could have campaigned for one harder. Like Wake Up Dead Man relies so much on its screenplay, whereas Train Dreams is obviously cinematography is the showpiece. Okay, campaign that hard for that, and then give Wake Up Dead Man some love for screenplay. I like Train Dreams a lot. I think it's in my top 25 of the year, but not like writing home about the screenplay in particular.
Yeah, it has good moments. It's a good movie. I think Frankenstein, I don't love that screenplay.
No.
I feel like there are some really weakly written characters in there, particularly Mia Goth, who I felt was really underutilized in that
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, say it with me. No other choice. I would have had no other choice here as well.
100%.
So that's just
But
where we're at.
Hamnet, and I know you read the book, or at least most of it, and
Yeah.
I've only heard just glowing things about that adaptation. So
Yeah, I love Hamnet nomination here. Love the Begonia nomination here. Love the One Battle nomination.
I think One Battle takes it.
I agree because
Definitely.
it's such a radical adaptation too.
Mhm.
Of the why am I forgetting his name?
Benicio,
No, not Benicio.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
No, the guy who
The
wrote
original.
Inherent Vice. The
Leonardo
guy who
DiCaprio.
wrote One Battle After Another.
Oh, I don't know his name.
I read one of his books in college. I read Inherent Vice and I read another one too.
Stephen King.
I don't know. It's escaping me right now. Apologies. But I think this movie doesn't totally closely resemble that book, and they kind of worked. He kind of just like went to him and was like
Thomas Pynchon.
Thomas Pynchon, yes, because it's the Paul Thomas Anderson Thomas Pynchon cinematic universe.
Yeah.
I think he just was like, hey, I got an idea for another one of your books. Like, lay it on me. or let me lay it on you. And Thomas Pynchon's like, let it rip, brother.
Nice.
That's how the conversation actually went.
Paul Thomas Pynchon Anderson.
That's right. It's one of those chain reaction things.
Love it.
All right, moving on. Best director: Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Stefano, help me out with the pronunciation here.
Joachim
Trier. Well, I always want to call him Joachim Trier.
I think that is also acceptable.
And for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Stacked.
There's Safdie doesn't win this, but anyone else should.
You don't think this is the one where if Safdie does win it, everybody falls out of their chairs, and it's like, I don't think it will happen, but
he doesn't win.
Paul Thomas Anderson is like,
he won't. Yeah, this is
guaranteed win, right?
A guaranteed win for Paul Thomas Anderson finally. And I think it's and what's I love so much about One Battle After Another is that none of the awards that Paul Thomas Anderson might win, they're not like he's due awards. I think this is his best work,
right.
And I think he's going to get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Great group of nominees. I'm happy to see Josh Safdie here. I was concerned there was going to be another Guillermo del Toro, even though of course I adore him as a filmmaker. I was just worried he was going to get kind of he's made a film like we were saying, so he's going to get nominated.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with this group. Chloe Zhao, such an awesome job. And Chloe Zhao is like, unfortunately, it felt like she had to prove herself again.
Yeah.
Which I hate that she felt that way, but
dude, she's saucy.
Listen,
she's got the sauce.
I will die on this hill. Eternals is a good movie. How dare all
I've
of you.
I've never seen it.
I agree.
It's great.
I totally agree. And
it's great.
It looks awesome.
I mean, some of the best visual effects in a long time.
Easily.
Completely unrelated to that, I will say people are very bummed that Jafar Panahi didn't get a nomination here. I think everyone was kind of expecting it. And I would have liked to see that as well. I think the best part about that film was its direction, the way it was directed. So a bit of a bummer there, but again, a bunch of great nominees. Yeah,
it's a tough year. It's also just hard. It's like, well, you risk your life to make a movie and risk being thrown in prison under a totalitarian regime to make a movie. It's like, you probably deserve an award. He's done it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard. Let me tell you what I'm, on a much less real note, what I'm scared of here, and I mean this in the nicest possible way because I like both of these movies, is that they'll hit us with a Paul Thomas Anderson Best Director win and then a Sinners Best Picture. Can't you feel that a little bit?
It happened and I know you're a big fan of the film, and Kartik, you're not, of the film I'm going to mention, but that happened in the year Boyhood won director and Birdman won.
Oh, that's
They kind of split those awards. I was bummed, but both phenomenal films. And I see what you're saying. I could see that happening here. It's like, if anything, I don't know. Would you prefer it the other way? Would you rather Coogler win director and One Battle win? I don't know. I think Paul Thomas Anderson.
I think whoever wins this award should win Best Picture, and I believe that every year, but I believe it even more so this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's my take.
That happened. What was it with Ang Lee? Right, he won for Brokeback Mountain director, and then somehow Brokeback Mountain didn't win Best Film. Oh,
that's
my
right.
Goodness, what a mess!
It does happen. Spotlight. It happened with Spotlight too.
It did.
Argo,
Green Book,
Argo,
Coda, lots of them. Actually,
yeah,
a lot of them.
It does happen. It should not, but it does. All right. Last category, Best Picture. And the nominees are Begonia, F1,
Yikes.
Frankenstein, Hamnet. Stefano got scared because he's scared of Frankenstein. Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
Look at that. What a weird list.
It's not the weirdest, but it is weirder than I would like.
When I was listening to it, I listened to it in the car when I was dropping my kids off. On the way to school, I said, shh. And I just I played the nominees, and they're like, what do you think about that, Dad? I'm like, there are 3 movies that shouldn't even be in there, but I like the rest of them.
And they are.
The first 3, I think Begonia, F1, Frankenstein shouldn't be in this list.
Okay,
I think
but you would have Train Dreams.
I would have Train Dreams in this list. Yeah, I sure would.
To me, F1, Frankenstein, and Train Dreams are like way long shots for me. I think we got to a point, though, where I just kind of accepted Frankenstein and Train Dreams happening. And then there was that bubble spot where they were like, well, it was obviously going to be, it was just an accident probably. And I'm shocked that that didn't get nominated here. I wouldn't, it's not in my personal top 10, but it would have been less shocking than F1 here. But I think if we're looking at this now and we're talking about what we expected 2 months ago, I think we expected 2 spots to be taken up by Avatar and Wicked.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think this is an improvement on that.
That's the darkest universe.
And a lot of people are kind of mentioning, I think Lynn, our godmother Lynn put it perfectly where she kind of said F1 nominations is there for the steak eaters,
Yeah. I love that. That's great.
And I get that. And which is like, it's just so shocking because it feels like it came out of absolutely nowhere. Last week, it just kind of flew onto the radar, and it's like, this is happening. It feels like they took the ballots, they took the top 9, and then they're like, okay, here's your top 9, and then boom, we're putting in F1 because Apple whispered in our ear.
They're sponsoring.
Dude,
the Oscars.
I'm such a conspiracy theorist that I'm like, did the Academy float this to all the major publications because to soften the blow? Because do they do it every year? Because all of a sudden, like you said, Stefano, last week, it's like, here's our predictions for best picture. And it's like F1. And I'm like, F1? What are you talking about, F1? And then it's like, I saw it at a couple places, Variety and a couple others. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. It just happened. It just really
and it's
happened.
like, and I think we were like totally fine. Like I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I enjoyed it. But it's just like, that makes it even more shocking that it's just like, this kind of just middle ground, as they put it, mid type of movie that's just kind of slapped in there.
It's a mid movie. It's also way too long.
It's very long.
Very long.
Also, I think I bashed the score is great, but I just cannot stand the soundtrack.
The needle drops.
The needle drops throughout the film. It's whatever.
I think it's fun. I think it's a blockbuster movie that never had a really blockbuster moment. But it's not a best picture movie. Like it's just genuinely a fun movie.
It did really well in the box office, and I think that's why maybe it got more of a push. I mean, I'm sure Apple pushed because they're like, well, this is our one horse in this race. Let's go.
Yeah.
And they have endless money. I don't know. It's perplexing. See, I like the bubble spot though, Stefano. I get excited about it because sometimes it turns into the substance. You know what I mean? Sometimes it turns into like,
sorry, baby, could have happened here.
I know weapons could have happened here,
Yep.
and I would, and or no other choice, or like I don't know, something could have snuck in here, and it would have been really fun. And then that spot gets taken by F1, and it's just like womp womp.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel.
Wow.
All right.
What a wonderful, exciting time to talk about F1.
Indeed. All right. Any other thoughts before we close the book on this?
No, I think the one thing I was kind of telling you guys earlier is it was such a phenomenal year for film that my expectations were so high, and for some reason I felt a little bummed at the end of the day. Like so many of my favorite films are represented in so many awesome ways, but I just felt like they just could have done a little better. I don't know. And obviously these nominations in film is so subjective, so I get it. Everyone has different tastes in film, but I think we were set up with certain expectations and they kind of were like, nope, not happening. But
yeah. But hey, it could have been a lot worse too.
Could have been.
That's what I keep telling myself.
You're right.
Like it could have been a lot worse, and it wasn't.
Could have been.
And so that is good.
I agree.
Yeah. So just it just dawned on me that it's been several years that this hasn't happened, but Sinners has finally broken that trend of the big five being nominated in the Oscars categories. It's been several years without it. The big five are Best Director, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay, and so, or Adapted. So it has been many years. I don't know how many years it's been, but it's been many years since they've done it, and Sinners is in there. I don't believe they'll take the five.
They won't sweep it. No way.
All about
does that even count? Because they don't have a lead actress nomination.
Oh, they don't. I thought they did.
I thought it was.
I thought
the big five was any acting nomination on either side, or no?
It should be Best Actress. It should be Best Actress. Is
So,
Wunmi?
which it doesn't have.
Supporting.
Oh,
So
she's
Wunmi's
supporting. Oh, so then no. So it doesn't even just scratch all of this.
No, it was a good
And,
good call
and then
out.
Sentimental Value barely misses it too, because
no one.
Stellan is supporting.
Not a single one in here. Still, I want to know how many years it's been since that has happened. I think it's been like over 5 years.
See,
since
if they
we've
had
it.
just put Paul Mescal in Best Actor,
they
which he
would have had it.
probably wouldn't have. gotten nominated in.
No.
But maybe he could have.
Maybe.
And then that would have been it. But
Oh man,
so close.
I'm shocked.
And yeah, there's no
Or Chase.
There's
in
yeah,
for one battle.
Chase would have done it
Chase
too.
would have done it. Yep.
Lots
Man.
of moving chess pieces here. I still think that the Academy voters have not watched all of these films.
Yeah,
They're busy. They're making movies, but we're busy. We're watching their movies.
I don't know if they start dropping the like anonymous Academy voter articles like they did last year that were like so scathing.
I
where
can't
it's
stomach those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that made the Academy put everybody on notice this year. Like, you better be watching these things.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to see how that unfolds, because we still got a long time. There's still a lot of campaigning to be done. There's still a lot of jockeying for position between these movies. So we will revisit this again in a couple of months when it's almost time for the Oscars and tell you who we think should win and will win these awards. We've already hinted at our leanings so far, but there's going to be a lot of chatter about these over the next couple of months. So stay tuned into that. We thank you for staying tuned in to us. This has been a really fun episode. Stefano, thank you so much for being here to be a part of this conversation with us.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. And thank you all for watching. I want to give a special thanks to our executive producer, Ryan, our title sponsor, St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings, and the band Rhetoric, who created all of our original music. Please remember that you can find all of our content on popcorn4breakfast.com. We've got blogs and episodes and videos and things dropping there every single day. So always visit that, bookmark it, make sure you check in there to see what we're chatting about. But otherwise, you can connect with us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, X, Discord. We have a free Discord server with the link in the description for you to join us and talk about movies there. Lots of ways to reach us, and we would love to hear from you, especially on your thoughts on these Academy Award nominations. I'm sure you have no shortage of opinions, so please let us know what they are. But we will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.